Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of What's on Tap podcast. Today, we are listening not just to your favorite co-hosts, Stefan and Martin.
Oh, am I here too? Thanks for letting me have a chance to jump in here. Thanks. So you don't want to tease us out? You're just like jumping straight into it.
I'm jumping straight into it.
Off of the deep end of, balls deep into the deep end of the pool here.
Always.
All right. Thanks for joining. Thanks for introducing me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We have two friends.
We do.
Two friends of the episodes.
Yeah.
I hope they're friends of the podcast. They're at least friends of ours.
We'll see how it goes after this episode.
We've had Pontus on before, but a new acquaintance to the podcast is Marcus, who runs the home brewery Frosty Beard Brewing.
Yes.
And he actually makes some pretty damn good beers.
Well, welcome, Marcus.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thanks for returning, Pontus.
Thank you as well. Glad to be here again.
And this was a surprise. This is not what I thought we were doing today. I thought we were going to review other beers. So I was very intrigued and interested in the concept here of reviewing a home brew against a professional brew that are somewhat similar. And Marcus to come on and defend his title.
As the best brewer in the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or maybe not. But yeah.
You're way too humble.
So before we get started here, tell us a little about yourself. So how did you get into brewing? What made you want to become a home brewer? How old were you when you first drank your first beer? When was the last time you saw your dad's penis? All the usual questions that we ask our guests.
First beer, I think, was probably like 10 years old, maybe.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's Sweden, you just get it off the shelf at 10, so it's okay.
Started brewing, though, in like 10 years ago. And then I kept it.
What made you want to become a brewer?
I thought that beer was fun, and I wanted to see if I could do fun stuff as well. So
in 2010, you were kind of like, this seems like a really great idea.
Yeah.
McKellar was just getting started. Tool was going to come around a couple of years later, and everyone was just like, craft beer, it's the latest fad.
Yeah.
And you were right on the kind of the beginning of the trend there.
Yeah, but then I did some batches, and then I quit for a while, and then I took it up and started learning a lot more about it, and beers turned better and better, and now it's really fun, and my stash of stuff has gotten a lot bigger as well.
Yeah.
So that's but it's a nice hobby, and I like making beer. It's
I'm sorry, are you married?
No.
Okay, so you have plenty of room then to indulge in all of your beer making activities and all the random excessive equipment that you're going to need to be able to do this.
I have an understanding girlfriend.
Oh, that's good.
So it's
all right.
That's not a big issue.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say I've seen a lot of home brewers, and these are one of those things that kind of start small and then just starts growing and growing and growing and growing.
And then you're outgrowing where you're
right. It's like
brewing.
we gotta buy a new place. I need more space to brew.
I will say that Mark is probably one of the few home brewers I know that has his own canning machine as well, who cans his beer instead of bottling them.
That is very rare.
Yeah, I would say that it might be quite unheard of for the most part.
Yeah, it's but it's nice because cans are a lot lighter than bottles.
Yeah,
so that's good, and they keep the beer better as well. But I usually go and use kegs, but it's nice to bring cans if you're going somewhere. It's a lot easier to bring around.
So what was that turning point for you when you went from just kind of being like a novice to feeling like this is really something that you've grown with and taking you where you are today?
The thing is that the more you brew, the more you learn, and you get to a point where you think that, okay, what can I do next to make this be better? And as that progressed, I understood that keeping your fermentation temperatures are pretty much the only really it's what you need to do to get beer right. If you keep the fermentation temperatures right, then the beer will be okay, because you make wort and then the yeast makes the beer. So it's if you like boil it down, that's when I like enter the next level.
Yeah.
And also like water treatment as well. That's the two like that made me step up a couple.
Yeah, I'm saying from what I've seen, the water treatment's really like when you're really into it, and that's what really elevates I think the home brewer from just making some stuff on their stovetop to really creating something that really has all of those professional characters and notes.
Is it mostly like pH values, or is it a lot of purification with minerals and stuff?
If we can go to this beer, it's a New England IPA, and those demand a high calcium chloride.
Okay.
So you have to have like I can't remember the numbers now, but you need to keep that like high on chloride. If you do a West Coast, you keep the sulfate, the calcium sulfate high. So
I remember when Matthias and I brewed the Prairie Bomb comparison. The water treatment was the key to getting the mouthfeel of that beer. I mean, it really made the difference.
Like keep doing stuff and keep brewing, because that's you learn something every time you brew, and that's the key as well. Do a lot of beers and keep trying new stuff, and keep reading and keep taking inputs, and that's how you can expand your beers.
Great. I'm super excited to try your beer today. But first, we're going to jump into the Stigbergets North Brewing Hop Selection IPA. Comes in at a... I hate where they put it. It's really hard to find. 7.5,
I think, or so.
I don't know. It's really hard to tell if it's a 5 or a 3. I think it's 7.3%.
7.1.
Yeah.
No, that's a 5. 7.5.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
You're not sure.
Let's see here. Yeah, it says 7.5.
It's a 7.5. I mean, that is...
I mean, if the internet says it, it has to be true.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, look at that 5. That is like...
No, Martin, that's a clear 5. It's a clear 5 for me.
You can't even find it. It's in the fine print right here on the side.
Oh, yeah, right. I hate their font. I remember it now. Yeah, that's almost immoral.
Yeah. Okay. So all I'll say about this is the can is very green.
It's also very yellow.
Yeah.
So our listeners won't know, but the beers...
But they will when they look at the cover art for the episode.
they will look at the cover art. Do a lot of our listeners look at the
first
cover?
thing they do is they go and they look at the cover and go, those beers look amazing. I wish they were in me.
I'd say though, I can't even tell one from another after having been in the glass for a while. Like they're...
Yeah, if you were to switch these up, I would have a hard time telling which beer was which.
They are actually super similar in color. It's
really cool.
Yeah. I'd say what difference then is always the nose. The nose is a lot different.
Yeah.
But we are talking about the Stigbergets.
We're going to start with the
and
Stigbergets
North Brewing collaboration.
And we'll try it first, and then we'll do a little review, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll come back and review the Frosty Beard.
So we're teasing our listeners that you won't get the Frosty Beard beer yet.
Exactly.
And don't skip ahead in the episode.
That would be horrible.
We put secrets into the episode so you can't. No.
Right. How would you describe the nose?
Quite fruity, but dank. Right? It's dank. Like when you pass someone who's been smoking weed and you smell that, you go, that's a sweet, sickening aroma.
I'd say it's a bit floral and all swampy a bit, like all swampy like.
Swampy?
Yeah, like flowers growing in a swamp.
Yeah. All right. It's a little mossy maybe?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. A bit more like the greenness from that.
It does smell fresh.
It does, yeah.
Let's cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 I mean, it's very light, very easy to drink.
Yeah.
I'd say it's crushable, so to say.
Yeah. There's a nice sweetness to it in the aftertaste.
A lot of the aromas carry through to the flavor. Sometimes they're so disjointed that the aroma and flavor are completely different things.
I'd say I get a ton of oranges in the flavor though. Like the aftertaste makes all over so
Like-
all
like-
over the mouth. More or
Like
less.
orange juice or oranges?
I say orange juice.
What?
Like dry
Sorry,
orange juice.
orange. What was that?
Oranges.
Okay.
Like orange multiple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Plural of orange.
Oranges. Okay.
Oranges.
Okay. I thought you were saying orange zest, and then you were just like slurring through the zest part.
No, I lingered on the
Orange zest. I'm like, I think we need to cut Martin off. He's a little too much already.
Yeah, but I say I get a lot of oranges on it. I like dry orange juice, like on the aftertaste.
But it's,
I do not get oranges at all.
I think it's floral.
Yeah, I think it's more floral too. I don't find oranges, but again, I don't tend to pick up a lot of fruit notes quite often. I tend to lean more into the floral aspects of beers.
So I'm gonna ask the standard question that I ask so many times on this episode. If someone is
How big is it?
No.
You should quit asking that question. It's really personal, and people are really uncomfortable answering it. So stop it now.
I've seen it so many times. I know how big it is. No, if someone has a drinking game, they should now be taking a shot because I'm gonna ask. Does this one have hop burn? I'm still trying to learn what hop burn is, and I don't know what it is.
No, this does not have hop
not
burn.
at all.
No.
Because it has an after flavor which is quite abrasive and feels all over the back of my throat.
Yeah, I would say like hop burn for me more like almost like chewing on fresh hops. Like
Yeah, usually hop burn is it
greenness.
burns going down. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
green and it really burns going down.
Like more like a heartburn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you compare the flavor to a heartburn with like chewing on hops. Like have you ever
Yeah.
chewed on fresh hops, Martin?
I still think I've never had a beer that had hop burn.
But you should
Well,
be
wait till you
glad
try the
because-
next one here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually to get that, you have to get something that comes that's like canned within like the first 2 weeks of
Yeah.
it, and then open it, and then you're kind of like, oh, that's so unbalanced, and then it's just the hops are just so aggressive.
I know that we had
Well,
like a few of them at least when we were tap room, me and Martin, and we have said both. Oh, this one was like real like hop burn notes, and he's like reading that one, so I don't know what he's talking about right now. What hop burn is? So I
He says it
think-
quite often, and then we point out to him, and he's like,
I know.
I guess I don't know, and then you know,
Is it amnesia or something?
I think it's like one of those what do you call it, when you force the memory out of your mind,
Yeah.
and he's just trying to
Selective bias cognition.
exactly it's kind of a selective bias.
But I'm kind of liking this.
It was
Yeah, I
nice.
think I'm liking it quite a bit.
Really drinkable, quite fruity, dank.
Yeah.
It's good beer.
All right. So what would you rate it? Pontus?
I would say it's a stable 4.25.
I'm gonna go with the lower 4, but that's not a bad rating.
I'll
Marcus?
same as Martin.
4? I think also a 4 as well. I think it's a very good beer, and I'm glad I have a can at home to drink later because I'm thoroughly going to enjoy it.
Solid.
I'd say it's a perfect beer for this weather though.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, let's take a short break, and then we'll come back.
The Mulberry Boys every Friday night. On the show, you better know they keep it tight. ETL is back and the J-Strom's in the zone. Introduce the co-host, he doesn't do it alone. PCZ is about to hold court. You know he's on the headset, you can hear him snort. Pop culture, movies, TV shows, and games. Rotten Tomatoes, reviews, news, and Blu-rays. Foggy don't play around, he will bust a drop pass. Welcome to the Entertainment Landfill Podcast, the Jason and Steven Show. It's the Jason and Steven Show. What? The Jason and Steven Show. It's the Jason and Steven Show.
All right. We're back. Woohoo! Yay!
Thanks for sticking through us through our very, very, very short commercial break for other podcasts in the podcast syndicate.
Yes.
We are podcast syndicate.
That's true.
What's the name of our syndicate? It's not our syndicate.
We are Pod Syndicate.
We are pod syndicate.
Yes. But I like your version as well. That's also nice.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about the beer that you brought to us today, Marcus.
Yeah, it's a New England IPA. Quite big. It's around 9.6%.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Wow. Okay.
And it has Mosaic a New Zealand experimental hop corp called Hort 4337, and a lot of other stuff as well. I can't remember all the hops right now, but
then they're secret
hops.
yeah, no, I think it's actually, yeah, there we go. It's got some Citra, Eldorado, and
All the hops.
all the hops.
So you just like
All
the
good
five hop
All the good
version
ones.
of
Except maybe Eldorado, because
That's right. And it's 4 hops, not 5.
was it 4? Okay. I was just guessing. I lost track. There's so many hops listed.
And the name was...
it's 1 is medical, 2 is magical.
And what does that mean?
You
Is it a drug reference?
No, but yeah, that's actually
So
a
about-
fun story because we went to the Wake Fest in Miami, and in the neighborhood, people spray stuff on the sidewalk, and actually the text was more than that, and it was probably pointing towards something in your rear. So it's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
So 1 is medical, 2 is magical.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now you taste it in a different perspective, right? Yeah.
It smells quite similar. A lot of...
Really, I don't think it smells similar to the other one at all.
What?
I would say this one smells-
super green.
Yeah, it's a little more like melon
Grass.
and grass and
Yeah.
pine to it.
I
Yes,
get
now
the pine
you-
and grass, a lot of it, compared to the Stigbergets.
Yeah.
But this one is, I say it's a bit more drier aroma to it.
Yeah.
You're right. I was basing it on the very first aroma from both pours.
Yeah.
Those were more similar than now.
Yeah.
Where the Stigbergets has changed a lot since we
Yeah.
opened them. And the 1 is medical, 2 is magical still has a lot of aroma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say this one smells like tropical Norrland.
Yeah, pretty much.
If we say
yeah.
so, it's
yeah.
Swedish.
That's a good comparison. Yeah.
It's like going to the Swedish forest up in Norrland and find like a pineapple over there.
Yeah.
There you have this kind of smell.
All right. For sure.
Okay, let's try to put ourselves in that mindset.
Yeah.
All right. So we know who's been doing drug dealer today and who hasn't. Yeah. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So right off the bat, it's much richer.
Yeah.
That might be the alcohol
ABV.
content and other treatments, but it's definitely a thicker, richer, more mouth-feely beer.
Yeah. I say it's a lot more so-called green in taste, like more vegetable compared to the one. That one was more like fruity floral. This one's like it's very piney in taste, I'd say, like being a New England IPA. But still, it's really, really rich and mineral as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the aftertaste is, goddamn, that's delicious.
So I'm trying to look at the. I think this can is about more than 1 month old.
Yeah.
About
That
a
seems
month,
about right.
About a month and a week. And your can.
It's probably around like 3 weeks from kegging.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
it's,
cool.
It's quite fresh. It's probably gonna change a bit more.
I would say it's probably going to mellow out a little more because the
Yeah.
aftertaste is still really bold and aggressive. Like it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where you really are like, there's a lot of taste coming here still.
It is. We got no hop burn though, but it feels like it's gonna maybe like be good in another week. Maybe it's gonna be
Yeah, I would-
priming. I think.
I would say the aftertaste is really chewy, I would say. Like, I just want to chew on that kind of taste because it lingers in my mouth and I really like that kind of taste. I just want to chew it.
Yeah.
More or less.
This leads me to a small note where I don't want my double IPAs to be too crushable. I want them to have some chew and some actual richness. If I want something crushable, I'll have a regular IPA.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore. They're only session and then double now.
Yeah,
You've got to realize that's changed.
There's
I
no in
know
between.
that
Yeah,
it's so sad. And then I'll have a 7% session IPA.
Yeah.
Because I want it to linger in my mouth, on my taste buds. I want it to have that richness. And
Especially at, what was this? You said 9.6.
9.6.
9.6, yeah.
9.6.
I mean, that's not something you want to be cautious of, like beers that have that kind of high ABV, because I mean, this is not a boozy beer. It doesn't come off as like super boozy. There's no alcohol burn in the aftertaste. So it is very easy to drink. But there's a slight awareness, like, oh yeah, I might need to sip this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's totally. But it's gonna mellow out a bit more as well and become more fusion, if you can use that.
We're gonna try it in a few days again. So
Yeah,
see
we
how
can
it
do
is.
that. So and we can probably try it like for a couple of weeks. if we
Oh,
want to,
nice.
so-
Looking forward to
Nice.
so it's no problem.
If I had one minor quibble, I would say the carbonation could be a little better on this. It gets a little flat pretty quick.
Yeah, and the thing about that is when I put it in a container, you lose some carbon.
Yeah.
If I take it from the keg, it's a lot more carbonated.
We won't work the keg. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I can bring the keg. That's no problem.
That's definitely what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So a keg on Friday is what I hear.
Oh God. No.
Yeah, I know. To put stuff in a container, you need to boost up the levels of the carbonation, because otherwise you lose not super much, but you lose enough to make it.
The extra carbonation would probably take that edge off just a little bit.
It will, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an excellent beer.
It's gonna be, if you had it from the keg, it would be
Just hold the tap into your mouth and just pour it in,
yeah,
That was dangerous.
and then you black out 10 minutes later.
pretty much.
So by this
But
point,
still,
I've
I
had.
won't regret it.
So by this point, I've had, I think, several of your IPAs, some sour, some stout, some saison. What's your favorite style of beer to brew?
I actually like all of them. I'm not a big stout drinker, but I like making stouts. It's crazy.
So just milk stouts from now on, just
like pastry stouts,
Yeah.
you can go totally mental and still get it to work. But I mean, if you want to like brew stuff by the book, it's really hard to get it like totally perfect. And well, of course that is nice as well. But I like brewing stouts and I like brewing IPAs, and I also like brewing Kölsches as well. I don't think I ever tried one of those, but I like making it, and I'm gonna try and refine that to be perfect, like in my opinion of what a Kölsch should be. But I think I'm on something there, so we'll see. I'll bring it someday when I.
Oh, I'd love to try that because I'm a big fan of Kölsches and traditional German styles.
We recently talked about Kölsches outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's not a Kölsch since it's not brewed in Köln.
No, exactly.
It's a
pseudo
Kölsch.
Kölsch,
It's a Kölsch style.
It's fizzy brown water is what they have to call outside of there.
Exactly. So, but I like making those, and I like the style as well.
So what's the hardest style that you've found to brew?
I think, as I said before, you do the wort and then the yeast makes the beer. So hard. I haven't made a pilsner or even tried making a pilsner because you have to have like a really low temperature to ferment them. But
You haven't got that customized refrigerator yet, just to store it into.
actually, I've got other stuff than that. I got a glycol chiller.
Oh, okay, even nice,
Yeah, actually, I tried it. I have a new brew back home now in the fermenter, and I just hooked it up yesterday, and it seems to work fine. So maybe I'll try a pilsner or lager.
Okay,
Cool.
so what's the next thing for you? What's next for Frosty Beard? Where do you go from here? From this humble podcast to
Yeah.
international stardom.
Yeah, now you're going to be launched into international stardom.
Yeah, of course.
For sure.
I expect unicorns and
Yeah.
rainbows and stuff like
yes.
that. So
I'm looking forward to that pilsner.
yeah, but I mean, I like making beers, and since I have a lot of extra time now because of the Corona situation, I tend to make a lot of beer actually.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep doing that and keep refining everything, and we'll see what happens, because it would be nice to like maybe get it into some bar or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens about that.
That would be cool. So any brewer who is listening, reach out to Marcus and do a collaboration. It's definitely worth it.
So where can they find you online?
Actually, you can find me on Untapped, and also on my Facebook page called Frosty Beard Brewery. So it's, if you wanna, like, if someone wants a sample of something, yeah, hook me up and I'll...
Oh, you invited the hordes of free sample beggars.
Yeah.
I'll take all your samples now.
Yeah, but I mean, in reason, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Naturally.
We didn't rate this.
I was about to say, let's rate this, and then we'll just wrap this up. Again, Pontus, you can go first.
I would say this one, I prefer this one over the Stigbergets, so I would say this one is a strong 4.25, also 4.5. So, what can I say? 4.35 average for me.
All right.
It's a really good beer, though.
I'm giving it a 4.5. I'm not agreeing with the yes, the carbonation issue, but it doesn't affect my experience of the beer. I think it's way better than the Stigbergets and North, and otherwise I need to lower that one, and that's too complicated. So
we can't go back and correct audio. That's
No,
impossible.
no,
That's
no,
impossible. Yeah. Marcus, you want to rate your own beer?
4.25, in my opinion. I made actually same style beer before. That's pretty much the best beer I have ever made, but I don't think you guys got to try it. I think you did.
I got
you got
on Easter for it. That's
Which one was that?
Burn Gold Lies.
Yeah, I drank that one on Easter for breakfast.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and that's the best beer I ever made. But at 4.25, and I keep trying different hop varieties and stuff like that. So I have the malt base that I think is pretty spot on.
I think the malt base is excellent. I think the hop blend is incredible. But man, that carbonation is killing me. So I'm doing like a 3.25. Sorry, I just got 4.25. I think it's an excellent beer. So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. We are Pod Syndicate, and wherever you can find podcasts online. So until next time,
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.